Oh, hey, sorry. Oh dear, you've caught me in part of my morning routine here. But hey, it's just among us. Let's just go ahead with this. You know, I was just writing about some of my concerns that I have in today's world. In particular, mental health. Now, there's a lot of stuff in social media about this, and people are talking about it, which is super great. But we need to get really serious about this. In today's world, conventional and social media would have us chasing this or that crisis all over the place. Have you noticed? It's like there's a bouncing ball always going on. It's like, oh, it's over here. Oh, it's over here. Redirecting our attention. But what has this frenzy actually gotten you? What has it gotten me? Have our lives begun to improve as a result of this crisis following? There are a lot of terrible things that are going on in the world. But you know what I'm really shocked by? Is all the terrible things that are going on right here at home. I was reviewing some of the mental health statistics, and I'm going to read some of these because I just want to really get these right. And on a side note, I'm very particular about where I get my statistics from and the way that I talk about them. So some of these statistics come from the CDC, some of them come from the National Institute of Health, and then there's a nonviolent metering program that's going on with NIH that a lot of this data is coming from. And so it's very important to me that I also talk about where this data is coming from, especially in this data-driven world. So one of the things is that there was a study done of about 315,000 people, and in the study, more than 8 in 10 of them noted a moderate to severe case of anxiety or depression. 8 out of 10. That's the vast majority. Anxiety and depression has increased over 30% since pre-pandemic times. Nearly 28 out of every 100,000 people over 65 commit suicide. Native Americans and white men are more likely to commit suicide, while anxiety and depression are significantly higher among the Hispanic and the Black communities in our nation. Youth, that's kids like from 11 to 17 years old, youth are the highest risk for self-harm, suicide, substance abuse, and this is unbelievable. This is our future. We are raising children who are not well. They are hurting. The leading cause now of these statistics is loneliness and depression. 70%, that's 70% of all people who were polled said that loneliness and depression were the cause of their suicidal thoughts, their anxiety, and the separation that they feel from the world around them. The next leading cause, it's far, far, far down the list, COVID at 26.9%. So 70% say loneliness, 26.9 say COVID, and 26.7 say the world news. That is just shocking. Oh, and veterans are twice as likely to commit suicide as non-veterans. And in the last 3 years, more veterans have killed themselves than died in the Iraq War. Now think about that. Substance abuse is up 11%, and violent crimes have increased over 44% since 2019. In fact, there are cities in this nation, in the United States of America, that are reporting a 108% increase in violent crime. Now, these statistics are shocking. And there's no exchange for a good therapist or good therapy to address some of the psychological problems that many people have who have self-harm or suicide tendencies or have tendencies towards violence, domestic violence, abuse, substance abuse. All these things are serious, serious problems. But folks, this is a crisis right here at home. This is a crisis of us. This is people like me, like you, like our neighbors, like our family members, our loved ones, our colleagues at work. This is a serious crisis. Now, like I said, there's no exchange for a good therapist or psychologist, but what I do know is that getting centered in ourselves, getting connected right here, finding home right here is a powerful step forward This is why I'm sitting right here this morning doing my routine. I'm journaling in my journal. I do this each morning as part of the getting connected to myself. I encourage my clients to do the same, to take, whether it be journaling or a silent moment or prayer for those who seek prayer or meditation for those for whom meditation works, but simply 5, 10, 15 minutes a day of simply sitting quiet with oneself to allow those difficult thoughts and emotions to rise and begin to handle them in a logical and pragmatic way. The second thing is to get connected to our bodies. I did that earlier this morning when I went for my walk around the park. And then like walking, a light jog, bicycling, swimming, hiking in the mountains, in the woods, or along the beach. These are all wonderful ways. Or yoga, of getting connected to the body. When I was in South Africa, I began to do swimming, and what I would do is I would reflect on how the water felt on my arms and how the water like came over my body. There's a tow truck out here. We're just going to ignore that for the time being. And so just getting connected with my body. And then finally, getting connected to the world around us. The constructed world is beautiful. There's beautiful architecture, and humankind has built amazing things, but there's no exchange for the natural world. Plants, the trees outside, the wind, the clouds, the soil, the animals, these things all exist at a different pace than us. And returning to that pace, which is a natural pace, returning there begins to connect us to the world around us. And if you begin to do these things, I promise you, you will begin to experience more peace and more centeredness right here where it counts most. This is where we are intended to be, right here. Because from here is where all of our action, this is where our giving and our love and our passion for the rest of the world comes from. This is where we handle the crisis from. If we can't handle the crisis here, then staring out there at the news about it does no one any good. If this sounds like you, if you're experiencing anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, if you're having a difficult time finding peace and home, being at home right here in this body of yours, give me a ring and let's discover with kindness your life without borders.